frame. There's just some stuff to know to do before you leave. One of the things, she'll go over the list of stuff you have to do before you leave. Hi, just fun to see you. Thanks. She'll go over the stuff you have to do before you leave, but basically the biggest thing you guys first of all need to know is nobody needs to take all their stuff home. You guys don't need to move your room out, all your stuff out. Unless you are leaving the school and not returning next semester, and I'll go over that information in a second. But first of all, yeah, thank you all for coming. Next week is reading week. You do know what that is already. Reading week is basically your time to study for finals. Things have to be a little bit more quiet in the hall, so starting on Sunday actually, when normal quiet hours hit on 10 o'clock, like they always do Sunday through Thursday for you guys. Quiet hours start at 10. Starting this Sunday at 10 o'clock, quiet hours will start, and we have something called 22-hour quiet hours in place. And basically what that means is, because we're trying to give you guys adequate time and quiet time to study and get ready for your classes or papers, whatever you have to do, it's going to be quiet hours all the time, and except for between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And what that also means is if you want to do something like vacuuming your room where it requires a little more noise, we'll only be checking out vacuums during that time of 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So those are like a 2-hour times where you can, it's courtesy hours so you can't get really loud, but it doesn't have to be the quiet hour level. Write-ups can and will happen during the 22-hour quiet week by every RA on staff. We're pretty standard on that. We had a discussion in our staff meeting about that, so we're pretty, it's going to be in effect.
It's going to be no warnings kind of a thing.
Yeah, because you guys you kind of had all semester to get used to the routine of what quiet hours are like. So that's what's happening next week. And then the week after that for finals week is 24-hour quiet hours. So we don't have even the 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. range. And there will be signs up around the building to remind you guys about, they'll go up sometime this weekend, about 22-hour quiet hours, and they'll get taken down. The signs will go with about 24, so there'll be reminders. And we can come around and say, hey guys, it's quiet hours. But just for the record, difference between a reminder and a warning, if you are actually being loud when it does take place, like you can do right now. So just FYI. And same thing with the finals week when 24-hour hits. That will actually start on Sunday also, but it'll start at 7, so earlier than the 10, because 22-hour are already in effect. Oh yeah, Friday on the 14th of December is when the halls close, so that's when you guys, the latest at 10 a.m. on Friday morning of the 14th is when you have to get out of the building. If you aren't, we're going to have problems. Just, you guys need to find a place, it's like time to go home, you need to find a friend or something. If you don't know where we're going to go, you can come talk to us after the meeting. But basically, as a general rule, you should leave within 24 hours after your last final, but you have until 10 a.m. on the 14th as the last point to stay here. What else? Oh yeah, if you're if there are any, if you're done with your finals and you're wanting to stay longer, but you're causing disturbances, like you're being really loud, you're bothering the people around you, we can ask you to leave immediately. Since you are all done, you don't really get to be here after that last final. But that's if you're just causing disturbance. Also, we do have extended stay request forms available at the front desk, and those have to be turned into the front desk by Monday, December 10th at noon. We can give you guys more information about that if you're trying to look into that, but basically what you should know, that's an extension to stay a little bit longer past that Friday at 10 a.m. time frame, but it's usually only granted to people who are doing graduation. So if you're not working graduation or what's another one? ROTC or something. Yeah, pretty much graduation though. If you're just trying to stay longer because you can't find a ride or a plane, it's usually not granted. It's a form you can fill out that's at the front desk, but it's usually for those only working graduation. Or if you're staying in downtime housing for winter classes, then you can do that too. So yeah, otherwise no exceptions will be made past that. And the longest those extended stays go till is till the 15th, so basically one day after Friday. That's basically as long as that goes till. Also, if you are leaving NAU and not returning in the spring, you do need to check out, and you need to sign up with me or Stephanie at least 24 hours in advance to check out, and we'll probably just come talk to us.
For me, if you're checking out, just come see me after.
Yeah.
and we'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find a time with me too, probably just the same thing, come see me after the meeting. Okay, now the next information I'm gonna go over, this is kind of just for people who aren't returning to NAU, so the rest of you who are planning on returning, which is a lot of you, you can kind of gloss over this information, yeah, just stay quiet, but this doesn't necessarily apply to you if you are returning to NAU next semester. But if you are not returning to NAU next semester, basically, or you're moving to another room before this semester ends, you don't come and get one of us or another RN staff until you're ready to check out of your room. Like, everything is out of your room, it is clean, spotless, ready to go. That includes the door and surrounding area. So one of the examples, what they mean by surrounding areas, you guys can't just like take your stuff and put it outside in the hallway outside your door. It has to be gone if you are actually checking out of your room. Which some of you have done, I use switch rooms, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. But yeah, basically, if you are leaving and not coming back to NAU, come get one of us. You'll have a sign-up time with us ahead of time. We'll come, we'll check your room to make sure everything's clean, no damages. Make sure your personal belongings are out of the room, they're not sitting on your bed, they're not in the hallway. The room is clean and it is rearranged to the standard room layout. If you have a roommate in the room, you still have to put your side back to the way it was when they first got here, like when you first got here. So you can't just, if you have your bed sideways, it can't remain sideways, it has to go back. And we can show you the
Fridge in the middle.
Yeah, we can show
You
you
can't
guys.
remember, we'll show you.
You have to have your ID when you're ready to check out, just at the front desk, they'll need it. Also, like I said, if there's any charges, if anything against that form that you fill out at the beginning of the semester doesn't match up, we'll talk to you about that, but basically you want to make sure that everything looks like how your form said. If you have your screen out when you're checking out your room, put your screen back in, turn your keys into the front desk, and we'll be down there with you. And then you swipe your card and you leave. Like I said, if you have any questions about this whole process, come talk to us further, because this is kind of a lot of information to go over to you, and I know it doesn't make a ton of sense. And now Stephanie.
So, okay, this is now everyone, so perk back up, start listening again. Whether you're checking out or not, this applies to every single person here. So these are things that you have to do before you can leave. If you're, when you are going home for this semester, you don't have to come tell us, like, oh, hey, I'm heading out, I'll see you in January. You can just head out on your way. We will have these little sheets on all of your guys' door. Finals week, we'll tape them up, and I think they go this way. And so then when you're done, flip it over and you are heading out, you say, Stephanie, checking out, I'm out of here for the winter. And so you just like check your little name when you're gone, and then when your roommate leaves, if you're the last one, check your name as well. Pretty self-explanatory. And then there's just a little checklist on here of things that you guys have to do, just a little gentle reminder. And I'll go over those right now. So the first thing is you have to have your windows closed and locked. That's so cold air doesn't freeze the pipes. Obviously we're on the 4th floor, nobody really can get in, but you never know. So make sure that those are closed and locked. Your blinds need to be closed and like flipped, so they're like dark. Everything has to be unplugged except for your fridge. And Katie and I will actually be going in all of your rooms along with our bosses, and so if we do see anything plugged in, unless it's your fridge, we're gonna unplug it. So just keep that in mind. If you do have an aquarium that's like self-cleaning, self-feeding or something like that, that is the only other exception of what can stay plugged in. So your furniture has to be away from the heater, so if you have like curtains or something, pull those back, tie those up, something, move a chair away, whatever is next to the heater. No leaky faucets, make sure your faucets are closed all the way. That's also a good way to save them. Your trash has to be emptied. This is for real. You do not want to come back and have 40 rooms with trash from a month and a half ago. That's just disgusting. Nobody wants that. Your lights need to be off and your door needs to be locked. The whole building is closed and locked once you guys leave, but just obviously lock the door. Your stuff's in there. Don't leave it unlocked. And we'll be locking them after we check out, but just lock them before you leave. And then don't turn your keys in. Don't do anything. You need those for when you come back in January. So obviously keep that with you. Okay. If you're checking out and leaving the school for goodsies, obviously you turn your keys in when you do the checkout process. But if you're coming back in the spring, you need to have your keys when you get here, so make sure you take your ID and your keys with you. It'll be a lot of chaos when everyone's trying to move back in and, oh, I locked my keys in my room, oh, I forgot them. So just make sure you take them with you. And then, okay, if your roommate is leaving, and so you have half the room empty and then your side, the other half of the room has to be empty. If it's not empty and you've kind of expanded to the other half of the room, we do charge you because we have to then move all of your stuff over for a potential new roommate in the spring. So that's not. And then just be aware that if you are gonna use a dolly for something to take luggage home or need to vacuum your room or something like that, they are gonna be limited because the whole building's gonna be trying to kind of clean up a little, so just make sure you plan accordingly. And then lastly, food in your fridge. That's kind of along with the trash rule. Make sure that there's nothing that's going to go bad in the next month. So obviously, if you have a little bit of milk left, just throw it out. And then very last thing for me is that just be aware. Like I said, Katie and I are going to be going in your guys' rooms just to make sure that like the windows are locked and the faucets off all the way and things like that. We don't go through your things, I promise. But if you have something you don't want us to see, don't let us see it. I'm just gonna, and a good hiding place is not the fridge or the freezer because we do open those to make sure that there's no bad food in there. So use your brains on that one. I'm not encouraging anything, I'm just saying, if you don't want us to see it, don't let us see it. We will be touching your windows, your sink, your fridge and freezer, and any like plugs that we just need to like unplug. Oh, I forgot my phone charger in there, we'll just unplug it. Other than that, we don't touch your stuff, we don't go through your things, so there's that. And then, oh, fish, if you guys have any fish or animals in an aquarium, those have to go with you. There's nobody here to take care of bubbles while you're gone and feed them, so.
Yeah, the only thing that would be an exception is if you have some special aquarium that's like a self-feeder. Please let us know, but yeah, please take your animal with you. That's kind of cruelty to like leave your animal to die and start it up. Not to mention, if a fish dies over break in your room, guess how bad your room's gonna smell, and guess how bad the wing will smell. So please take your animal with you. One other thing, guys, going along with us going in the room to make sure that like you did the stuff like taking out the trash and we're not gonna have like a fire or a leak or something, because that's basically what we're checking for, is to make sure you did all the closing stuff. Going along with the policy things, you're actually not supposed to have decorations like posters or things hanging from your ceiling. So, I know, kind of minor thing, but it is a fire hazard, so you need to take that down because you will be documented and written up for that. Because we do have bosses who come with us through the rooms, and we found that was a problem last year. So you actually can't have things hanging from your ceiling. So just take it down, put it on your bed or something. Just don't have stuff on your ceiling.
And if you do have anything like wine bottle with flowers in it or something like that, that is a policy violation. It's kind of unfortunate and maybe doesn't bother us that much, but when we go in there with our boss and they see that, we have to write you up for it. And so that's not fun to come back in the spring for having a chair from the study lounge in your room or empty alcohol containers or something like that. So just be aware of that. We don't go through snooping to find things to write you guys up about, but if it's just
We just
sitting
kind of
out in
see
the
what's,
open.
yeah, out in the open.
We have to because our bosses are standing right next to us. So just be smart and just, you know.
Yeah, if you think it's questionable, just get rid of it, put it somewhere where it's not out in the open. One other thing, shoot, I just lost my mind. Yeah, so alcohol policy violations, things